How much is it to rehab a house? That's a great question, and it's a difficult answer. So we're going to cover all those difficult questions with simple answers so you can walk into a house and quickly determine what it's going to cost within reason to rehab it. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a hard one because it depends on so many different things. We're going to go over all those so many different things in this episode, so you're going to want to stay tuned. By the time you're done watching this episode, you're going to have a better idea of what it's going to cost to rehab a house once you walk it. So stay tuned. So this also depends on what your intent is for the property. Are you buying it to fix and flip, or are you buying it as a rental? Those two things are completely different on what you need to do to them. There's also a couple factors that you need to look at. One, year of the house built. The older the house, the more money it's likely going to take to rehab it, right? Also the square footage. What's the size of the house? I mean, you can't have, a 2,000 square foot house is not going to usually cost the same as 1,000, especially if it's the same work that needs to be done. So how do we determine what needs to be done? So how do we determine cost? We back into a price per square foot method that I'm going to get into in just a minute. So a couple things that you have to figure out or take into consideration when factoring how much is it going to cost. How about area? First of all, the area is a big part of it. Are you keeping it as a rental or is it a fix and flip? Obviously another factor. Size of the house. Obviously, we're going to talk about price per square foot. That's how you're going to determine what things cost. It's what investors use. It's what your general contractor is going to use and figure out price per square foot as well once he's doing all of his math. It's how you determine when you're doing a new build as well. Like, it's going to cost me X per square foot, and then you know how many square feet of house you could build. It's very similar factors go into rehabbing a property as well. So again, condition, that's another thing that we need to look at when evaluating these properties. So let's talk about a few things. I know that every area of the country is different. There's different markets. You could go to an expensive market like New York. It's not going to be the same as it is in my area like Phoenix. It just doesn't equate the same. So you have to take these things into consideration. But for the most part, we're going to talk about like just normal America and what it costs. When you walk into a house that's maybe you just got a great deal and it needs carpet and paint, things like that you want to back into. I usually use a $15 per square foot evaluation. So let's say you have a 2,000 square foot home, that's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $30,000. You're thinking, well, that's a lot for carpet and paint. All right. I'm doing a little bit more than carpet and paint because I'm thinking maybe I need appliances, maybe I could doctor up the yard a little bit. It's typically not just carpet and paint, but that would be an entry level getting into the property, price per square foot that I would feel comfortable with. Like, these are the basics. I need things to pop. This is what I'm going to figure out price per square foot of when evaluating the property. $15. It's a pretty safe number. So the next tier up, what I like to call is more of a general rehab. Like, I'm going to get into more things. Maybe I'm doing some windows. Nothing too extravagant though. I'm still keeping it pretty basic, but I use a $25 to $30 per square foot basis. That gives me plenty of money. So let's just say it's $30, for example, on a 2,000 square foot house. That's $60,000. I'm able to do a lot of fixing on that and getting that either rent ready, or it's not going to go as far as if I'm fixing to flip it, but it's still going to give me a lot of money to do what I need to do to get that house ready and back on the market for a tenant or for a new homeowner. So typically in a mid-level, I'm updating the kitchen and a bath, right? I may not be able to go all out on those, but maybe I'm doing new tile, maybe I'm refinishing the tub, things like that. So if you're looking at a mid-level, maybe you could reuse the cabinetry. Maybe you're going to paint those, maybe do some new hardware. Maybe you have to put, new granite or what quartz or whatever you're putting on the countertop. So you can have enough budget to do some really great things, but you're not walking in going, oh my gosh, like these were hoarders and this house has been destroyed and there's not, it's just there's a lot of work. There's basically everything's being touched. So you're able to do that on a medium or mid-grade fix and flip or rental. Now, I do want to talk about fix and flip versus rental, because your fix and flip is just going to take more resources, right? You have to be so much more on point. You have to use different types of products. When I'm doing a rental, I'm thinking longevity, I'm thinking wear and tear, I'm thinking a different type of product than I am fixing and flipping. So these two things have to be evaluated. So when I'm talking about these numbers, I'm really focused more on the rental aspect of real estate. Because honestly, I want you guys to hold these properties as much as possible. The more rentals you have, the more income you have coming in. It's not very often you'll hear me say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I sold that property. It's not, I've usually looked down, 5, 10, 15 years down the road and go, gosh, I wish I still had that property. That's more likely what you're going to hear. So when you can, try to hold these. That's what I'm going to talk about mainly here. If you're liking this information and you want more of it, click on the subscribe button below, and I'm going to bring you more information like this daily. So what we're doing here is we're backing into what is a good budget. So when you look at these houses, that's what you want to think. Now let's go into what is a bigger rehab, stuff that virtually almost everything needs to be touched. Again, as a disclosure, you want to check with a general contractor after figuring these numbers out and getting the property under contract. You don't want to bring a general contractor out to every property you're looking at. They're going to hate your guts. You need to get these under contract using a method like this, because once you're under contract, you also need to leave yourself an out, and that's your inspection period. You need to allow yourself time to get your general contractor out to take a look at this property and give you an adequate bid. I say get several bids by several contractors, and that way you know, like, this is what it's going to cost. And you'll know more specifically in your area what things are going to cost. But you could use this as a template to get you into the deal. We could always get you out of the deal, but once someone else takes that deal, can't get you into the deal. So let's get you in the deal by using numbers like this. Make sure you always leave a way out of the deal. Use an inspection period, due diligence, financing, any sort of contingency inspection. All these things are ways out of the deal. The next one is the next tier up. Use a $50 per square foot budget. That means you're going in, it needs flooring, you need new doors, you're redoing tile, you're redoing cabinetry, things like that. That's a fairly safe number. It could go up from there for sure, but that is a fairly safe number on most of the rehabs that you're going to be looking at that need a lot of work, right? I'm not saying gut totally down to the studs, but maybe you need a new panel, things like that. So that's a fairly good number that you could use. So let's talk about what does that mean on a 2,000 square foot house. It's $100,000. That's a pretty good budget. You could do a lot of business, get a lot of things done with $100,000. You just need to make sure that your numbers support it when you're backing into this. Once you have it under contract, then you could get, again, your contractor out to validate or verify the numbers that you're projecting. This is just a reference. I hope this is helping you guys and making you feel a little bit more comfortable than just walking in going, I have no clue. So I know that this still is kind of daunting, and you may still be going, gosh, I just don't know. Well, here's what I have. I have a free gift for you, and that's our comprehensive checklist when you're looking at properties of what needs to be taken care of or replaced. That gift is for you for free for watching this. So click on the link below and get it. It's yours for free. And if you're still not comfortable with it, you could click on the link and schedule a one-on-one with myself or one of our partners and essentially help filter out and determine what needs to be done on that property. So click on the link either way. Get your checklist or get a consult or get both, but it's yours for free.